and welcome to the second Tech Friday on this channel. And today is actually one that I've been waiting for a while. And it's not just because we finally have a proper setup, courtesy of Newer. But today we're actually going to be building our own custom console. What do I mean by that? Well, with the Gabe Cube getting closer and closer, I decided, you know what? It's best we build our own. First of all, to find out how easy it actually is to install SteamOS on custom hardware, and two, to find out whether we would actually use something like this in our own living room setup. This has actually been live in our setup since January, but I've taken it apart for the purpose of this video so that I can show you how simple it really is to build your own Gabe Cube and install SteamOS on it, and how fluid the experience is. And then, of course, we're going to be using it for virtual reality in future videos to play around with Linux and virtual reality. And you may be asking yourself, why not Windows? Why not just install Windows and launch straight into the Steam UI? That is something you can do. Installing Windows means you get those Windows moments. Random forced updates, needing a mouse and keyboard on the couch, UI scaling issues, and ads in the start menu, even though I actually personally haven't had any of those show up. Windows is trying to fix all of that with their new Xbox gaming mode, and that is a lot more controller friendly. However, if you've watched any of the YouTube videos that have come out about it recently, you'll know that it not only doesn't help performance by turning off any of the stupid additional services Windows runs in the background, but in some cases, it will actually end up using more RAM. Underneath, it's still heavy, bloated Windows. And let me tell you guys what we are going to be putting into this thing, because the hardware is actually not top of the line. This is an RX 580, which is a Polaris GPU, and it means we're going to run into a few issues with Bazzite later. And then this is the Micro ATX motherboard from my old NAS back in Ireland. It's the ROG Strix B450i Gaming. It's nice because it's got built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, meaning we can connect controllers directly to the board without needing any additional adapters. Then for our RAM, because yes, we do have RAM, we've got 32 gigabytes of Ballistics DDR4 running at 3200 megahertz. For our storage, we're going to be using an NVMe drive for the operating system, and for our games, we've got this 480 gigabyte SSD. Then, because we need it for this specific case, we've got an SFX modular power supply. Now, the case is actually the very interesting part. This is the CH160, which is a very interesting case because all it actually is a wireframe. So motherboard goes in first. Boom, just like that. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention as well, this is quite important, but for our CPU, we're going to be using the Ryzen 5 5600X. The reason I'm not taking it apart is because I don't have any thermal paste on me, and yeah, that would go quite badly. Motherboard is in, let's clip in the RAM. Clip and clip. Let's put in our NVMe SSD. This goes in right here. Now, we are going to take apart the top so that we can fit in the GPU. And our GPU goes in right here. And I think while we're putting in the GPU, I might as well tell you some of the issues that we're going to have with it. So Polaris seems to have some very interesting issues with Bazzite, or Linux in particular, especially when it comes to HDR. What actually happens when you turn on HDR with this GPU, when it's plugged in over HDMI, is you get this very weird purplish green tint on absolutely everything. But there is actually a fix for that I found after doing a bunch of research, and it's this DisplayPort to HDMI adapter. That adapter, I found, actually manages to connect to my TV correctly and relay the HDR signal. I've tried many other adapters and none of them have worked correctly, but this one actually did. And now here we've got the cables we will need for our modular power supply. All the mess of wires we're gonna try and put in through the back. There, perfect. And that is our power supply in. And you might be asking yourself, how are we gonna get the cable from here to here? Well, that's actually rather simple. You take your extension lead, route it up here, plug it in, and there we go. Okay, so we have the entire PC built up. And as you can see, I did some cable management. So to show you around a little bit real quick, what we've got here is I have that SSD mounted on the side there. You could also mount it up against the window, which is what I had it like before, but I think this looks a lot cleaner with the wires going up behind the power supply there. And then down here, I used some U-green cable ties to tie everything up nicely. And I honestly think it came out fairly clean. So now we can jump right into me showing you guys how to create the installation media for Bazzite. Now, do keep in mind, my laptop is running Arch Linux, but that really isn't a problem because the software we're going to be using here is called Balena Etcher, or just Etcher. And you can use that on Mac, you can use it on Windows, you can use it on Linux. So, in order to download Bazzite, you're going to want to go to the Bazzite website, and then it's going to ask you a few questions, because you can actually customize this distro quite a bit. So you can see here what hardware are you using. We're using a desktop. Then, which GPU is your primary vendor? So we're using an RX 580, so we're RX 400 plus. Then you can choose your desktop environment. GNOME is a little bit more like Ubuntu, and then we've got KDE, which is what I'm using on my laptop, and what we're going to be using on this, since it's most like SteamOS. Then it's possibly the most important question. Do you want to launch right into Steam gaming mode? And the answer for me here is yes, because this PC is going to be Wake on LAN through my Home Assistant, and it is going to be sitting underneath my TV. So I do not want to have to launch Steam gaming mode every time. Once you have all of this selected, you want to click download Bazzite deck, and once it downloads, you want to grab some form of a USB stick. So we've got our USB stick right here. We're going to plug it in. We're going to launch Etcher, which I have installed. And then from here, we can go to Flash from File and select our file, which we just downloaded. It should be here, Bazzite deck, perfect. Select our target, which is going to be this USB stick. And you can see I have Ubuntu server on it right now, but we're going to select that and we're just going to press Flash. It's going to ask us for our passcode. There we go, and that is going to start. So I'll be back with you guys as soon as this is finished. Now we're going to power up the computer, wait for some form of a display. I'm going to be slapping F8 and F9. It's going to be different on every motherboard, but in order to get to the boot device screen, you're going to have to slap either F8, F9, or F12. Usually, when you're turning on your computer, it actually tells you which one you need to press. But once you do get to the screen, you want to find the USB stick that we just created and press enter on it. Once Bazzite has successfully booted, you will be thrown into the desktop. In the top left, you're going to find the icon to install Bazzite, and double-clicking on it will launch the menu. First, you select your language, then date, time, and time zone. After that, you're going to want to select which drive you actually want to install it to. So make sure you're selecting correctly here. After that, press next and you will be given a few options. You can either install Bazzite alongside any other OS you already have on the drive, or erase the entire drive. Erasing means only Bazzite will stay on your system, so do be careful. This is where I quit though, as continuing would wipe my drive. From here though, the setup guides you through and it's really simple. I don't think any of you will have any issues. Okay, so now that we actually have Bazzite installed, let me show you guys why this is so great. The second it boots, we're not actually gonna have to use any keyboard, we're not going to have to use any mouse, and that is simply because we chose to boot right into GameScope in our ISO. As you can see, here we are inside what could theoretically be called SteamOS, and it's working absolutely beautifully. We don't need any mouse or any keyboard in order to navigate it, just like you would on the Gabe Cube. We can even see that our controller is connected, we can ping it in order to find it, and it shows us the current battery level. And you can see all the games I currently have installed here. Because this isn't going to be an insane powerhouse, you can see I have not gone ahead and installed incredibly powerful titles. I've installed some more demanding titles like No Man's Sky and Sons of the Forest in order to see how they would run, and they run. But in order to show you that this kind of just works, let's play Cuphead. And you can see here, it just launches right into full screen and you don't have to play around with any desktop software. And here we are, full controller support, everything just working right out of the box. Now, I do have a massive amount of input delay. However, that is, again, because of the cam link. This wouldn't normally happen on a TV, especially if you've turned on game mode or low latency mode or whatever your TV ends up having. But here, we can just exit the game like we would on a console, and the interface is just so intuitive. So something else we can turn on so that I can show you guys, maybe something that doesn't actually run natively. So something that would have to run through Proton. For example, a story about my uncle. And you can see here, I can go into properties, compatibility, and I'm running this one on Proton Experimental. You can play around with this. Different titles might end up needing different Proton versions, but you can actually just jump into Proton DB and find out what other users are doing in order to get the game running, or if the game is compatible to begin with. I would say most games are, but there is one important caveat I do need to tell you guys about, and that is anti-cheat, as a lot of games that require kernel level anti-cheat will actually not end up working on something like Bazzite. And you can see here, works perfect. I played through this entire game on this computer for a little bit of nostalgia on Proton Experimental. So you can see here, it is working absolutely fabulously. No issues at all. And then you've got the incredible game scope screen right here. If you just want to quit, you quit. Now, a lot of you might be asking yourselves, but what if you want to play titles that are not actually here on Steam? Well, Bazzite also has an option for that. If you jump right into power, you can actually launch Switch to Desktop. And once you switch to desktop, you have access to the full KDE desktop, just like you would on something like a Steam. Incredible, amazing. Thank you for that. Can someone explain to me what exactly has happened here? Oh, okay, well, point being, you have access to the entire KDE desktop. And switching out from it is just as simple as pressing the main button on your controller, and here we are in GameScope once again. Because we have access to the desktop environment, you can also play games from GOG or Epic Games. It's literally as simple as installing something like the Heroic Games launcher. So there you guys have it. As you can see, it is unbelievably simple to get your own Bazzite setup set up in your living room. The one I've built here right now is basically a budget machine, especially in 2026. It's not going to play something like Cyberpunk at 4K, but for 1080p, medium or low on modern titles, indie titles, or 4K emulation, it can absolutely crush it. And it works so well. Honestly, the amount of times we've had friends over since January and we'd choose to launch this over something like the PS5, simply because the library of games that we have access to is massive on Steam. And the fact that the controller pairing process just works so well and is so seamless, you kind of just think of it as a console. And with the Wake on LAN functionality that we have inside Home Assistant, we just sit on the couch, tap our phone to an NFC tag, and the thing turns on. Yeah, it would be nicer to have it turn on with a controller, but that's just not something I've figured out. Now, on the topic of controllers, by the way, there is a slight issue I want to mention that I think might be for my setup in particular, but maybe some of you guys in the comments section know something that could help me fix this. I've got 2 PlayStation 5 controllers and 1 Xbox controller. And no matter how many Xbox controllers I connect to the Bazzite setup, it's perfectly fine. However, when I try to pair more than 1 PlayStation 5 controller, it seemingly connects, but doesn't receive any inputs. I'm fairly certain this could be a limitation of my specific Bluetooth and Wi-Fi adapter. However, the fact that Xbox controllers work without issue make me doubt this one. If you have any suggestions, ideas, or things you think I should do with this in order to make it even better, do let me know down in the comment section below. But if you like this one, please do leave a like. If you disliked it, I guess this button works too, but let me know why down in the comment section below. If you're not yet part of our community, check out our Discord and our Reddit down below, where I want to see you posting your spice memes, and thank you so much for watching this episode. As usual, thank you so much to the Patreons. You guys are what help me make these things possible. And thank you so much in case you're just watching, subscribing, liking, all of that helps a ton as well. If you want to be notified about future content coming up on the channel, make sure to smack that subscribe button with your forehead, ding my bell, and see you again in the next video. Peace.